Unfortunately, it wasn't the most auspicious of starts. After a spectacular flight down the River Thames, an unscheduled stop was needed. In all the excitement, Jennifer had overlooked one crucial factor.
We're 2 helicopters on our way around the world. We've only just started, and one of us we need to divert into for fuel. Do you have avgas?
Whilst Colin trundled onto the coast, Jennifer touched down for the vital missing ingredient, fuel.
Well, we've got as far as Rochester. We're doing well. We're not doing very well, actually. We're doing extremely badly, or at least I am. And my radio is not working properly, and I'm totally thrown. I don't appear to have any music.
I think music was the least important thing.
I know.
These single-piston engined helicopters run on a high-octane fuel called avgas, available only at certain airstrips. Luckily for Jennifer, Rochester is one such strip.
It was an absolutely beautiful sunny day going over the channel. A quick look back at England, you know, not knowing when you're going to see it or if you're ever going to see it again.
I think Jennifer was fairly excited. I mean, very excited. Very, very high level of excitement about embarking on this trip, which she'd been working very hard on for a long time.
The day of departure is rather like your wedding day. It seems surreal. You just feel slightly apart from it.
Well, we're just leaving the UK now. Last final look at this. Goodbye, dear England. Never looked so sweet, huh?
No, go again.
And I'm waving hard.
Finally, they got on their way, leaving behind the home comforts of England, heading into the unknown and the record books. After spending the first night in Paris, the team flew south to Jennifer's house in the Dordogne, where they enjoyed a one-night stay and a well-deserved day off. Whilst the rest of the team relaxed, Colin pressed on towards camp. Unfortunately, a problem with his exhaust system meant he didn't get too far.
Well, I can't see anybody about, so I'm going in. To get something done with this exhaust, it's nearly falling off.
But it takes more than a forced landing to faze Colin. Using some fence wire, he patched up the exhaust system and headed off to Cannes.
Well, it's day 4. We're heading from Jennifer's house in the Dordogne and Bergerac to Florence. That was going to be... we were going to go to Cannes last night. We skipped that out. And now today we have basically 2 legs to do. Beautiful. Look at that. It's Monaco. The big Grand Prix is on now. They're qualifying right this second. There it is. Look at the crowds in the stadium. Stunning. Wow. This really is the life of the idle rich of the world. But I guess some of them aren't so idle. Some of them are probably working quite hard.
Film è pronto? È pronto per il decollo per 270 qui.
So we've got a special permission from the military in Italy to fly low over the Leaning Tower of Pisa and the Place de Miracle. Beautiful, baby, the camera loves you.
Tower, good afternoon, Dolomiti 75 Pablo.
With the excitement of their departure behind them, the team was settling into a routine by the morning of day 5. After the flight plans were filed, Colin would set up the microlight and all the aircraft would take on fuel. In Florence, Colin also took delivery of a new set of exhaust springs, allowing him to complete the emergency repairs he had carried out in France. Little did he know that later in the trip, a failure in this same system would almost cost him his life.
Isn't that the same, but stretched?
Despite Colin's worrying exhaust problems, he still appears to be having a whale of a time.
I mean, he had a wonderful time yesterday. He said he only needed to put one finger on the bar, and he was able to take it off, take wonderful photographs. And he said he flew right over the racetrack at Monte Carlo. Q's eyebrows hit the ceiling. He said, "You what?" He said, "Yeah, it was fine. You know, it was wonderful. I got a great view. Lots of cars there already."
Another beautiful European summer's day, and the Now Challenge heads for the Mediterranean. Greek island of Mykonos was to prove a problematic landing spot for the team. The powerful Meltemi winds which gust across the airport, making life very difficult for Colin and his microlight.
Little did I know, it's actually called the Windy Island, which I didn't know, and I really, to this day, don't know why we went there, because there was no reason to go there. There's no way this is sensible at all to try and take off in this wind, with a gust factor like this. So it's down with the wing, lads.
It's a good decision, it's the right decision he's made, so what can you say? It's just one of the limitations of the aircraft.
It's not worth the risk, you know, it's not worth killing yourself for.
Only a week gone, and the challenge was already behind schedule. Dawn, and time for Colin to attempt another launch in spite of the dangers. In such strong gales, a sudden wind shear during takeoff would slam him back into the tarmac, but with narrow weather windows ahead, any further delays could jeopardize the rest of the trip.
He made it. He made it.
And I was just really glad to get away from that island, because I just started to get a feeling I was going to be stuck there forever.
With Colin safely on his way, Jennifer prepared to set off in pursuit.
Well, I'm just very glad that I'm flying the helicopter and I'm not in that machine. I mean, Colin's one really plucky guy.
This would be her longest sea crossing so far, 400 miles over the Aegean to Cyprus.
The water crossings, for me, were something that had to be faced and put up with and endured. You're in the hands of your little engine. And if you have a mechanical problem over water, your chances of getting out alive aren't that great.
Our first big water crossing, 400 miles over the water, not a technical hitch, everything beautifully smooth.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the way we like it.
Well, we're going to do a 50-hour service here, because although we've only actually done 28 hours, it's no bad thing. Have a good check.
Whilst the engineers worked in the midday sun, Colin touched down safely some hours later. Colin returned to Cyprus airport early the following morning, hoping to file flight plans for the trip to Jordan. Unfortunately, he found his way blocked by a mountain of red tape. He wasn't happy.
I've been here since 6:30 this morning, trying to get all the flight plans done, because we've got four sets of flight plans have all been rejected every time, and I've been up in the tower. It's so frustrating, you know. I've done 15,000 copies of flight plans up there today, and having to go through all the air charts, wasted 2.5 hours, and I've still not even started rigging my plane yet. You know, we should have all been here doing this, not just me on my own.
So Colin got on with rigging his aircraft while the authorities examined the flight plan. Valuable time was being lost, but they weren't prepared to cut corners. The team was about to fly through one of the most politically volatile places on Earth.
Yeah, we've had our flight plan rejected 4 times now. The routing is very critical in the Middle East, and you absolutely can't fly to Jordan over Israel, having flown over Israel. But there are other complications there as well.
After 6 attempts, the flight plans were approved. Colin left immediately, closely followed by the others. The sea crossing to Syria gave Jennifer some time to practice her formation flying with the pilots of the Cessna Caravan support aircraft.
Very sexy, perfect. Coming into a Syrian desert, the first thing we come across is a sandstorm. It's our first sandstorm.
Just the heat and the stress of what we've been going through that day, I got incredibly tired, and I got quite disorientated with the shimmering heat and the sand and the tiredness.
Jennifer's starting to really suffer with sunburn on her arm, so we're going to land here and give her some sun cream. Jennifer's, it's quite dangerous for her, so her arm will burn off.
We're here in the desert with the sandstorm moving up very quickly to the what is it? It's the east over there. Sandstorm coming up in the east over there. The temperature here is 29 degrees. Not such a hot one for the desert. It's all very, very dramatic. But I tell you, I'm extremely glad to be able to land. I'm extremely glad actually to be on the ground.
Jennifer, in the first 2 weeks, was really struggling physical-wise and mental-wise. I think she was wondering if she'd bitten off more than she could chew.
I love desert. It's my favorite thing. This is beautiful. So many different kinds of desert. All deserts are different.
Arriving in the Jordanian capital Amman, the adventurers received a warm welcome. However, events were about to take an alarming turn. Colin's microlight had been battered by severe turbulence crossing the hot desert.
Getting on towards 500 miles by the time we've done the official route. If we get any engine problems out in the desert, you're going to be very lucky to survive in the desert out there on your own.
We're about to fly through the hottest place on Earth at the hottest time of year.
I'm taking each day as it comes. We've got 420 miles to go today, and today's flight is every bit as long as what we did yesterday.
Leaving at dawn when the sand is cool minimised the risk, so Colin decided to set off for Hyle in Saudi alone, hoping that Jennifer would catch up later during the dangerous flight. But not everything was going according to plan. Jennifer's helicopter had developed a serious problem. One of the two magnetos had failed. The device distributes electricity to the spark plugs. Flying the aircraft without it is potentially lethal.
I tell you, I'm not going anywhere until I am really satisfied that both magnetos are functioning and functioning well. It takes all the fun out of it, I can tell you. If you're worrying, if you haven't got full confidence in your machine.
Probably a day or 2 days behind, which is bad because all the clearances start collapsing in different countries, so we'll get it fixed. Just a positive attitude required.
Behind schedule, and only now realizing the enormity of the task ahead, the now challenge was in jeopardy.